Every new entrepreneur that I have as a client, and even those I don't, always ask me the same question, and it revolves around if, when, and how they should set up an LLC to run their business. Today, we're going to talk about that. Because setting up an LLC is actually a legal action rather than a tax action, this video comes with a huge #NotALawyer disclaimer. Guys, remember, I am a tax accountant, not an attorney, so there's no legal advice here, but this is what I know from the tax perspective and from being a business owner myself. So let's start with discussing what the difference between being a sole proprietor and a single member LLC is. From a tax perspective, there's not much difference between filing as a sole proprietor and a single member LLC. Both of them will file their business activity on Schedule C of their individual Form 1040. The tax difference comes in that sole proprietors are going to file their Schedule C under their Social Security number. These are going to be usually my independent contractors, my gig workers, my side hustlers, my multi-level marketing people. Anything where you're receiving your business income to your Social Security number, you're a sole proprietor, and so you're going to complete your Schedule C using just your Social Security number. On the flip side, a single member LLC is going to file that Schedule C under their business EIN, which means you gotta file for your business EIN. That's your business tax ID number or your employer identification number. And that number comes from the IRS. And before you do that, you do also want to register with your Secretary of State. One more thing to consider, if you ever want to be taxed as an S corporation, or you've heard about that and you think that that's in your future, you need to consider that an LLC can make that tax election to be taxed as an S corp, whereas a sole proprietor cannot. So if that's something that you see in your future or you've contemplated doing, you definitely want to set up that single member LLC first. So here's our #NotALawyer section. A sole proprietorship comes into existence the moment you receive non-W-2 money in exchange for services or goods rendered. You may or may not receive a 1099 for that money you receive, but even if you don't receive a 1099, you're still required to file that Schedule C and report that income. As we stated above, that income is going to be reported on your Schedule C of your Form 1040 annual income tax return under your Social Security number. On that Schedule C, in addition to that income you've received, you can also report all of your expenses related to running your business. LLCs are legally recognized entities, and they need to be set up through your Secretary of State and possibly also registered with other agencies depending on your business type and your state that you're located in. In many states, this process of setting up an LLC is super simple. In other states, it's more complicated. This is why we always recommend at least consulting an attorney to figure out exactly what needs to be done to properly set up your LLC. One more #NotALawyer. The biggest difference that comes between running your business as a sole proprietorship under your Social Security number and setting up an LLC and having a separate tax ID number is the legal separation of your business from all of your other personal assets. When you operate as a sole proprietorship, again, meaning all of your income is reported under your Social Security number, if something happens, they can go after any other assets that you personally own. Your car, your house, your retirement fund. Whereas if you set up that LLC, it separates your business legally from your personal so that if somebody sues you or comes after you, they can only go after what the business itself owns. This is once again where I tell you to consult an attorney to get all of the details about what an LLC is and if you really should consider setting one up. And if you do decide that the LLC is right for you, they can also help you set that up and get everything done correctly. If you guys have any questions about what we talked about today, go ahead and leave a comment below. And then I highly suggest you head on over to our Facebook community, Money, Taxes, and Finance for Small Business, because these topics are what we talk about on a regular basis and have live trainings on every week. You can access that group by clicking the link in the description box. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and while you're loving on me hard, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you never miss a future video.